nights ends, everything just drowns in fear and blame. We all know it seems as if the pain won't go away. Betrayed, that anything will lead to tears again. Not giving the chance to love again. Betrayed, the empty promises were left unsaid.
There's a sweet relief I only find inside your arms, a slow seductive warmth like honey through my veins, a sweet relief singularly yours, faithfully restores with just the whisper of your name. Sweet relief, sweet relief, sweet relief.
Yeah, she's forgot more than I'll ever know. But she's not perfect, she's pretty damn close. She's a home grown lover with a heart of gold. That's the way she rolls. God bless her natural soul. She got so much to give, and what the girl has got is a hell of a lot. She's over the top. When the lights go down, she's the star of the show. She's not perfect, she's pretty damn close. That sweet little woman sure lights up every time we touch. No one's perfect, that's what they say. She's not missing it much. She shines like a diamond everywhere we go. If she's not perfect, she's pretty damn close.
Hi, I'm Saul, and I'm one of the lead roles in the short film My Guitar, and we're here in South Austin Music interviewing people about their guitars. This is our video for our crowdfunding, so if you're out there watching us, give us our help. It's going to be an awesome project. My favorite guitar? My favorite guitar is my guitar. I've had it for about, I want to say, 8 years. It's probably the cheapest guitar you can actually find, and it's the best guitar you can actually play. It's a PV Predator. I got it back in 2002, I think, 2003. I don't know, yeah, 2004 actually. There it is. My guitar, the sound of it, the feel of it. A musician, especially a guitar player, you gotta really connect with your instrument. You gotta feel comfortable with it. You gotta feel it, you know. So my guitar, it becomes me. I can really express myself through it. I connect with it physically. It's a pretty amazing feeling.
Well, I'm Bobby Boyd. I've written songs just about all my life. Why I love my guitar. Well, first of all, it's the only second lover that I've got. And right there stands the first. And it's just been with me all my life. And, You know, my growing up in Tennessee, in the mountains over in Tennessee, I mean, we didn't have enough money to own a piano or anything like that. So, it was a guitar or nothing, But with our family, we grew up pretty well poor and back in the mountains up there. And I had an all-brother group called the Boyd Brothers, of course.
That's the guitar. That's my guitar. Hello, my name's Dalton Jacob, and this is Victoria Di Benedicti, and we're with Three Bones.
My guitar is a very similar guitar to this, but it's a 1960K, and it's not black, it's just natural, like wood sunburst, and it only has one pickup and a volume and tone knob, but it's really similar to this, and I love it.
I have a few different guitars, but I have one really similar to this. Mine's a DC3, which is a Dan Electro that came out in the early 90s.
Why do you love it so much?
Its name's Claire. I just recently found it, or it found me, more like, and it just connects with my soul.
Because it's like, I'm also a painter, so, just like anything, like any artist has a way to express themselves. That's what it is for me, so.
My name is Chaz Bissett, and I'm the multi-instrumentalist and leader of a local band called Silver Ships. I have many. There's one particular instrument that I've owned for the most amount of time. It's an early 50s harmony guitar made in Chicago. Lovely instrument, and I've written the most songs on that guitar. And what I love about that instrument is just, for some reason or another, I've stayed with it, and it stayed with me, and I've got the most songs out of that instrument, and that's kind of a special thing.
My name's Monty Warden. I've lived in Austin my whole life so far. I'm a songwriter, leader of the band The Wagoneers. Write all the stuff for the Wags. Been writing songs, I guess, professionally since I was about 14. And I got my first guitar when I was 11. 1963 Martin D18, and it means and meant everything to me. Changed my life. It gave me something to do. I like to think my guitar has always kept me off the top of a tower with a deer rifle. It's brought a lot of purpose to my life. Because I use my guitar mostly as just a tool. Because I don't play lead or anything. I reserve those types of talents to people like Brent Wilson and amazing talents like that. I use mine just to write songs. So for me, it's not so much the importance of my guitar, it's the fact that I have that tool to use. I mean, what we like to say about songwriters like to say about guitars is it's not the arrow, it's the Indian. So it's not so matter what you're playing, but that you have something.
It's not the coffee pot, but the beans.
Right, exactly. There you go.
Well, my name is Brent Wilson, and I'm an Austin musician that have been for many years. This is my 1963 Fender bass, and I've played this bass on a lot of recording sessions and a lot of gigs. It's sustained me and made a good living for me in the music business for many years. I moved to Nashville for 10 years back in the 90s. I took this bass guitar with me, and I was on the road with a band, and we went to meet the bus early one morning, and it was about 5:30 a.m. and everybody was all bleary-eyed and tired, and the last thing I said before we got in the vehicles to go meet the bus is all the guitars and stringed instruments need to go in the back seat of that car. Well, I had this bass in a nice flight case, and it looked very much like the case that a lot of the drum hardware was in, which went in the back of the open pickup truck. So to make a long story short, this bass got put in the back end of an open truck, and going about 70 miles an hour down the highway, it flew out. I didn't know that it had flown out because I was in the other vehicle, but somebody called me on my cell phone and said, you guys may want to turn around. I think something flew out of the back end of the truck. Oh no, wonder what that was. So we wanted to all stick together, so we had to make an exit and go about 4 miles back the other way and come back around. So in doing all that, we got out of the vehicle and discovered that it was my Fender bass that had flown out of the back end of this truck. And after that had happened, it took us about 10 minutes to get back around to where this had taken place. And the thing had gotten run over by a semi. So when I picked up the case, it just folded in half in my hands. And I stood there and cried for a few minutes. The body was in 3 different pieces. And again, to make a long story short, it took me 1.5 years to put this thing back together.
Wow.
And I glued it back together myself. By then I had moved back to Austin, and I just got to missing Texas too bad. So I moved back here, and I came on hard times. And so I had to sell this thing to a friend of mine who was doing really well in music at the time. And then he lost a bunch of work. He fell on hard times, and he called me. He said, "Brent, I'm going to have to sell that bass." And he said, "Do you want to buy it back?" And I said, "Man, I'd love to, but I'm just not in a position to do so right now." So he sold it to another friend. And so this friend came in one day. He said, "Hey, do you have any pictures of that old Fender bass?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And he said, "Man, I'd like to see them, just to know what it once looked like." So, okay, well, that's kind of strange, but so I brought him the pictures and gave them to him, and I just kind of forgot about it. About 1.5 months later, he came in that front door over there, and he was holding this bass in his hands, and it looked just like this. And it looks just like it did the day I bought it in the early 1980s. I paid $800 for this bass. It's an original 1963 Fender bass, and I bought it from a Vietnam veteran who was the original owner. Like I said, for $800. And if it had not been run over by a truck, it would be worth about $12,000. But because it's no longer all original, and because it's been in many pieces, it's not worth anywhere near that. But it still sounds good, and it still plays well. And I use it on recording sessions, and I'm going to play it this evening on a live radio show that I'm doing. So
and it's still your guitar.
It's still mine. It's made its way back to me, and one of these days I'll find a way to repay my friend who saved it.